So this is going to be attached to this email, or to your Google Classroom, I'm sorry. And this is going to be taped on page 108 in your journal. Okay, it's a blank page, and you'll just tape right here and here so that you can flip it back and forth and see both sides. So area of triangles, all right, if you look on your purple sheet, it's going to be area equals 1/2 times base times height. So it's very similar to this one, but you're cutting it in half, all right? You're multiplying it by half. You're dividing by 2. And the reason is because if I divide this parallelogram in half, I get a triangle. So that's why base times height is a parallelogram, or a rectangle. And if you cut it in half, or take half of it, that would be where you got your triangle. So area equals 1/2 times base times height. So on every single one of them, we're going to write our formula. 1/2 times base times the height. And so underneath it, we're going to have 1/2 times our base times our height. So our base is going to be 12, and our height is going to be 10. So if they give you this side or this side, you don't need it. Okay, you need straight up and down height in the base. So 12 times 10. So that's level 1, that's level 2. We're going to have 4 levels. Okay, our last level is going to be our answer. And this is how I want it on your homework as well. So 1/2 times 12. Half of 12 is 6. And 6 times 10 is going to be 60. So our answer is going to be 60 square centimeters. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 levels. So again, finding area of this triangle, this one's going to be your base, this is going to be your height, okay? It's straight up and down. So if they give you this right here, you do not need it. Or if they ask you to measure, you only need your base and your height. Okay, your height is straight up and down, perpendicular to that base. So this right here is going to be an extra side that we don't need for the formula. So finding area is 1/2 times base times height. So 1/2 times our base times our height. We're going to show multiplication with our parentheses. So your base is 22, your height is 20. So you can do this multiple ways, and we talked about this yesterday. 22 times 20, and then you can take half of it. You can take half of 22, then multiply it by 20. Or you can take half of 20 and multiply it by 22. Okay? I'm just going to take half of 22, which is 11, times 20. So my area is going to be 220 square feet. So this is what I want on your homework. So right here we have area equals 1/2 times base times height. So 1/2, our base is 11, our height is off to the side out here since this is such a slanted side of the triangle. They want it straight up and down from the bottom to the top. So 1/2 times your base, which is 11, and your height, which is 17. 11 times 17 is 187. So 1/2 of 187, or 187 divided by 2, would be 93.5 square inches. All right, on this one it says, we're going to skip this. Sarah the artist is making a tile mosaic out of a triangle-shaped tile, tiles. So that's important to know what shape it is. The tiles are put together on a large board. Each tile has a base of 2 inches and a height of 3 inches. So we have one little triangle that could look like something like this. So we know that each tile is the same size because it says each tile has a base of 2 and a height of 3. But there's 150 of them. So they want the area of the mosaic, of the whole board. When she puts all 150 tiles together, what's the area? So if we want area of a triangle, we always have to write our formula. Okay, so we have 1/2 times 3 times 2. And I'm going to skip down here so you can see my next line. I'm just going to say 3 times 2 is 6 times my 1/2 1/2 of 6 is 3. So one little bitty triangle is going to be 3 square inches for an area. But I have 150 of these. So I'm going to say 150 times 3 square inches is going to equal a total of 450 square inches. Okay. So on this one, it asks you to measure, so to the nearest centimeter, and then it wants you to find the area. So I'm going to go on my purple sheet, and I'm going to measure the base of this. So I'm going to be very precise. I'm going to put my little line, and it's a little closer to 5 than 6. Okay, so since we want the nearest centimeter, this is going to be 5 centimeters. And if we measure our height, it's going to be right close to 2 centimeters. And we don't need to measure this side or this side because in our area formula, we only need our base and our height. Okay, so I measured my base and my height. I didn't measure these extra sides over here. So 1/2 times my base times my height. So 1/2 times 5 times 2 is 10. So 1/2 of 10, or 10 divided by 2, is 5. So our answer is 5 square centimeters. So that's my answer right there. So on your homework, make sure that you show your work on another sheet of paper and that you show all 4 levels of work to get your area.